The forest of Virel shimmered under 3 silver moons. The air was cold and strange blue lights floated between the tall crystal trees. A young human boy named Aaron walked carefully through the glowing grass, his breath fogging in the night. He had crashed his small shuttle hours ago. Now he was lost on an alien world where even the shadows seemed alive. Every step made a soft crunch. Behind him, something moved, like a whisper, a shape, a chill. Aaron turned, his heart pounding. Nothing. Only the soft hum of the alien forest. Then he heard it. A cry. A soft, frightened sound that echoed through the still night. It came from deeper inside the forest. He hesitated. But then the cry came again, higher, desperate. It was the sound of someone young. Someone in trouble. Aaron ran toward it. Branches cut his face. Glowing leaves brushed against his clothes. The cry grew louder until he saw her. A young alien girl, no older than him, was trapped in a circle of black mist. The mist wasn't just fog, it moved. It had a shape. Long arms, sharp claws, and eyes like burning coals. The creature hissed, a voice like knives scraping metal. The girl's skin shimmered faint blue, her hair silver like starlight. She held a broken staff trying to fight the monster off, but she was weak. The demon's claws reached for her. Without thinking, Aaron grabbed a sharp rock and ran forward. "Hey, leave her alone!" he shouted. The demon turned, its eyes flashing red. It moved fast, and too fast. Aaron swung the rock, hitting nothing but air. The creature's claw sliced across his arm. Pain exploded, and black smoke entered the wound like liquid fire. He screamed. His vision blurred. The world spun, but somehow he still moved. He tackled the alien girl away from the demon's reach. They fell together, rolling across the glowing moss. The creature screeched. The forest itself seemed to shake. Aaron tried to stand, but his legs trembled. His arm burned where the demon had touched him, the skin turning black, glowing faintly red from inside. The girl whispered something in her own language, then pressed her glowing hand on his wound. Light flowed from her palm, but the darkness pushed back. Her eyes widened in fear. "It bit you," she said, her voice trembling. "The shadow demon never lets go once it bites." "It marked you," Aaron blinked. "Marked me? What does that mean?" She didn't answer. Her eyes darted toward the trees. The mist was gathering again, the demon reforming. "We have to run," she said. He tried to follow, but his legs were weak. The girl grabbed his hand and pulled. Together they ran through the forest, chased by twisting shadows that whispered his name. "Arian, Arian." The ground glowed beneath their feet. The trees bent as they passed, whispering strange songs. The demon screamed behind them, shaking the air. Finally, they reached a cliff that overlooked a deep canyon filled with shining rivers. The girl stopped, breathing hard. "It can't cross water of light," she said. "We're safe here. For now." Aaron collapsed on the ground, clutching his arm. The pain had stopped, but something else had started. A deep, cold feeling crawling under his skin. His vision flickered. For a moment he saw through the darkness. He saw the demon's eyes still burning in the distance, staring at him. The girl sat beside him. Her voice was soft now, full of sadness. "You shouldn't have helped me, human. The shadow demon protected me once. It was bound to my family. When you attacked it, you broke the bond. Now it follows you." Aaron looked at her in confusion. "Who are you?" She hesitated, her silver eyes reflecting the moon's. "I'm Lyra, daughter of the king of Virel, and the creature that bit you was once my guardian." The night wind grew colder. Far away, the demon's whisper echoed again, fainter this time and almost like laughter. Aaron looked at his hand. The black mark glowed softly, pulsing like a heartbeat. He didn't know if it was pain or power flowing through him. But he knew one thing. Whatever had bitten him wasn't done. Lyra stood, her voice low and heavy. "You shouldn't have done that, human," she said quietly. "Now it will never let you go." The moons faded behind a cloud. The shadows moved again. And Aaron realized the night on this planet was only beginning. The suns rose slowly over the planet Virel, spreading golden light through the misty forest. The glow touched Aaron's face, but he didn't feel warm. He felt cold. His arm, the one the demon bit, still burned under the bandage the alien girl Lyra had tied. Every few seconds, dark smoke seemed to curl beneath his skin. Lyra sat nearby, her silver hair reflecting the light. She watched him silently, her face full of worry. "You shouldn't move yet," she said softly. "The poison isn't like anything human medicine can heal." Aaron tried to smile. Poison? It feels more like something alive inside me. She looked away. That's because it is, the words hit him like ice. He stared at her. What do you mean? Lyra hesitated, then finally spoke. The shadow demon doesn't just bite, it binds. When it bites, it leaves part of itself inside its victim. It hides there, waiting, feeding. Aaron looked at his arm. The black veins were pulsing faintly, moving like they had a heartbeat of their own. You mean, it's still in me? Yes, Lyra whispered. And it's angry. Before Aaron could reply, a sharp pain shot through his body. He gasped and fell to his knees. The forest around him darkened, even though the suns were shining. A cold shadow spread across the ground. His vision blurred and a voice whispered inside his head. Human, you took my place. You took my light. Now I will take your soul. Aaron screamed, clutching his head. The world around him seemed to twist. The shadows lengthened, forming claws and faces that moved around him. Aaron. Fight it! Lyra shouted, grabbing his shoulders. Don't listen. It wants control. Her voice pulled him back. The shadows faded. The pain eased. He looked up, trembling, sweat running down his face. I saw it, he said weakly. I saw its eyes in my mind. Lyra nodded, her voice quiet and serious. That's how it begins. The more fear you feel, the stronger it becomes. Aaron took a shaky breath. Then how do I stop it? You can't, she said. Not alone. You need help. But the only one who knows how to stop the shadow demon, she paused, is my father. The king, Aaron said. You mean the king of this planet? Lyra nodded. Yes, the king of Virel, but he will not be happy to see a human. He ordered the demons long ago and to protect our kind from yours. Aaron frowned. Protect? From humans? Lyra looked down. Your people brought war to this planet once. Long before you were born. My father lost half his kingdom that day. Since then, he has forbidden any human to set foot here. Aaron was silent for a long moment. He looked at his arm again, at the mark glowing faint red. So he'll probably kill me if I go to him, he said. Yes, Lyra said quietly. But if you don't, the shadow demon will kill you first. He gave a tired laugh. Great choice. They started walking toward the mountains where Lyra said her father's palace stood, hidden in the clouds. The forest seemed to watch them, whispering in alien tones. At midday, they stopped near a stream of glowing water. Lyra filled her hands and offered him a drink. The moment he touched it, the mark on his arm hissed and sent black smoke into the air. The water boiled where it touched his skin. Lyra's eyes widened. It reacts to purity. The darkness inside you rejects light. Aaron clenched his teeth. Then maybe I'll just have to learn to control it. She shook her head. No human has ever survived a demon bite for this long. But maybe you're different. He looked up at her. Different how? Lyra didn't answer. Her gaze was far away, fixed on something behind him. Aaron turned and froze. In the reflection of the water, he saw himself. But his reflection smiled, even though he wasn't. Its eyes were red, glowing faintly. The shadow of horns curled from its head. He stumbled back, shaking. That's not me. Lyra stepped forward, her voice trembling. It's the part of you the demon now owns. The reflection whispered, lips moving though no sound came. Then Aaron heard the words inside his mind again. Calm, cold, and clear. You cannot escape me, human. You opened the gate. Now we are one. The wind howled through the trees. The suns dimmed behind a sudden cloud. Aaron looked at the reflection again. The shadow in the water smiled wider, and then vanished. Lyra put a hand on his shoulder. We have to reach my father before nightfall, she said. If darkness falls again, it will try to take you completely. Aaron nodded, staring at the black veins running up his wrist. Then let's move, he said quietly. Before I stop being me. The forest whispered again as they left, and somewhere far behind them in the mist, a dark laugh echoed through the light. The journey toward the mountain took 2 days. The suns of Virel burned softly through green skies, and the forest turned from glowing trees to fields of dark crystal. The air was colder now, and every time Aaron looked at his arm, he could still see the faint red pulse under his skin, like a heartbeat that wasn't his. Lyra walked ahead, her silver hair moving in the wind. She said little, but her eyes often searched the shadows around them, as if she expected something to attack at any moment. Aaron finally broke the silence. You keep looking back. Is it following us? Lyra nodded slowly. It always follows. The shadow demon doesn't rest. It is part of you now and part of me too. Aaron frowned. You keep saying it was your guardian. Why did it attack you then? Lyra stopped walking. Her face was pale, her lips trembling slightly. Because I broke my father's law. Aaron looked confused. What law? She took a deep breath. No royal blood is allowed to touch a human. The curse of the shadow demon was created to make sure of that. Aaron stared at her. You mean, the creature attacked you because I helped you? Yes, she said. You stepped between me and it. The old magic became confused. It was made to protect me from humans, but you risked your life to save me, so the bond twisted. It bit you instead. And now its power is torn between us. Aaron sat down on a flat stone, his mind spinning. So I'm carrying a piece of something that belongs to your royal bloodline? Lyra nodded again. You are. He looked down at his hands. Then maybe that's why it feels like. It's watching through my eyes sometimes. Lyra turned toward him sharply. You felt that? Yes, he said quietly. When it's quiet, when I stop thinking, I can feel it, like a second heartbeat. And sometimes I hear things, my name whispered over and over. Lyra looked worried. That means it's trying to connect. Soon it will try to speak through you. He forced a shaky laugh. So I'm basically a haunted house now? She didn't laugh. If you lose control, Aaron, it won't just kill you. It will destroy everything near you. The shadow demon feeds on emotion, anger, fear, even love. That last word hung in the air. Aaron looked at her. She quickly turned away, pretending to study the path ahead. They walked for hours in silence until they reached an ancient ruin half buried under blue sand. Carved pillars rose from the ground like broken fingers, each marked with glowing symbols. Lyra stopped. This is where it began, she said quietly. Aaron followed her, brushing dust from one of the carvings. What is this place? She looked around with a strange sadness. The Temple of Shadows. My ancestors built it thousands of years ago. They used it to summon the first guardian, the one that became the shadow demon. He ran his fingers across the carvings. The symbols seemed to move slightly under his touch. Summon, you mean your people created that thing? Lyra nodded. Yes, my father's ancestors were desperate. Humans had come to our planet back then. Explorers, soldiers, miners. They didn't understand our ways. There was war, fire, and death. To protect our kind, the King of Light bound the shadows to our service. Aaron looked around the ruins, feeling a strange chill. But shadows don't serve forever. No, she said softly. They never forget what they were before they were chained. For a moment, neither of them spoke. The wind moved through the temple, whispering in an ancient language. Aaron could almost hear words forming inside it. Something dark, something calling his name. Lyra looked uneasy. We should go. The spirit inside this place knows you now. As they turned to leave, a deep rumble echoed through the ground. A burst of black smoke rose from the center of the temple, forming a tall, dark figure, eyes glowing red. Aaron froze. Is that? Yes, Lyra whispered. The demon. It has found us. The shadow's voice rolled through the ruins like thunder. You carry my mark, human. You carry me. Aaron stumbled back, his arm glowing crimson. The pain returned sharper this time. He could feel his veins burning, his heartbeat racing like a drum. Lyra shouted, Don't let it in! Fight it, Aaron! He dropped to his knees. The air around him turned black. He could see flashes of another world, places of endless night where creatures screamed in silence. Then suddenly the demon stopped. Its shape twisted and it turned its burning eyes toward Lyra. The blood of the royal line calls me still. It hissed. The king will see the boy, and he will decide who lives. With that, the shadow vanished, leaving only a faint hiss in the air. Aaron gasped for breath, falling forward, exhausted. Lyra knelt beside him, her hands shaking. He knows we're coming, she said. And now? So does my father. Aaron looked up weakly. Then I guess it's time we met your king. Lyra's eyes glowed softly under the alien sun. Yes, she said. But pray he sees a human's heart, and not his shadow. The crystal mountains of Virel rose high into the clouds, glowing faintly under the twin suns. For 2 long days, Aaron and Lyra climbed narrow paths and crossed bridges made of light. Every night, the whisper of the shadow demon returned in Aaron's dreams. Soft, cold, and full of promises. serve the darkness, and you will never die. He woke each time drenched in sweat, clutching his cursed arm. The mark was spreading. Thin black lines now reached his shoulder, pulsing like living veins. Lyra noticed but said nothing. Her face had grown distant, filled with worry. "Once we reach the palace," she said one morning, "my father will decide your fate. You must not speak before he allows it." Aaron gave a dry laugh. "I'm not great at keeping quiet when someone's deciding if I live or die." Lyra didn't smile. "He's not like you, Aaron. He doesn't see humans as people. To him, your kind are memories of fire." They finally reached the gates of Virel Palace. Enormous doors carved from silver stone, covered with symbols that shimmered like stars. Alien guards stood in armor that glowed faint blue, their faces hidden behind helmets shaped like beasts. The guards crossed their halberds as Aaron approached. One of them stepped forward and said in a deep, metallic voice, "The princess returns." With a human, Lyra bowed her head. "He carries the mark of the shadow demon," she said. "He must see my father." The guards hesitated, whispering in their language. Then, without a word, they opened the great doors. Inside, the palace was vast and cold. Silver halls stretched endlessly, filled with statues of alien kings and queens. Aaron's footsteps echoed like thunder on the marble floor. At the far end stood the throne of light, and upon it sat King Virel. Lyra's father. He was tall, his skin pale gold, his eyes glowing like burning suns. His robe flowed like mist, heavy with ancient power. Around his neck hung a chain made from black crystal, pulsing faintly like Aaron's wound. The king's voice filled the hall. "You dare bring a human into my presence, daughter?" Lyra knelt. "Father, please, he saved me. The shadow demon bit him in my place. He carries its mark." The king's eyes turned toward Aaron. "So the human has become the vessel of our old curse." Aaron tried to speak. "I didn't ask for it. I was just trying to help." "Silence!" the king thundered. His voice shook the walls. "Do not speak before I command it, mortal." Aaron bit his tongue, his fists tightening. The king stood and walked down the steps of his throne. With each step, the air grew heavier, colder. He stopped before Aaron, looking at the black mark on his arm. "You bear power that was never meant for your kind. That thing inside you will either kill you or consume the world around you." Lyra stepped forward. "But we can save him." "The ancient seal!" The king raised his hand. "Enough, Lyra." He turned to his guards. "Take him to the lower chamber. Chain him. If the demon speaks, burn his mind until it sleeps, and wait." Aaron shouted. The guards grabbed him by the arms, pulling him back. "You can't just—" The king's voice was like steel. "You trespassed on my world. You carry our curse. You will be contained." Lyra ran toward her father. "He's not our enemy." "The demon chose him because he protected me. If he dies, it might die with him, and the bond will vanish forever." The king stopped. For the first time, doubt flickered in his golden eyes. "The bond may end," Lyra nodded. "Yes, but not by killing him. He must learn to control it." The hall went silent. The king studied Aaron for a long moment. Finally, he said, "Very well." He turned back toward his throne. "The human will not die yet. From this day forward, he will serve the royal bloodline. The shadow demon inside him obeys the will of my house. Therefore, he will protect my daughter as long as he breathes." Aaron stared at him. "You're making me your prisoner?" The king looked over his shoulder. "No, human. I am making you her shield." The guards released him. Lyra looked at Aaron, her eyes full of mixed relief and guilt. "But know this," the king continued, his voice echoing through the hall. "If the demon within you awakens, I will destroy you myself." He waved his hand. The throne room doors opened. "Now go. The princess will prepare your oath. Serve her, and perhaps your soul will find peace." As they walked out of the hall, Aaron glanced back. The king's golden eyes still watched him, cold, sharp, ancient. When they reached the corridor, Aaron whispered, "So that's it? I'm your royal guard now?" Lyra nodded slowly. "Not just a guard, Aaron. You are the only thing standing between me and the darkness you carry." Aaron looked at his cursed arm again. The mark pulsed faintly. For the first time, he felt something strange. Not pain, but power. And somewhere deep within, a quiet whisper returned. "Serve her and I will serve you." Days turned into weeks inside the shining palace of Virel. Every morning, Aaron trained in the Hall of Shadows, a vast chamber built of glowing crystal, where light and darkness danced together like living mist. Lyra watched him from the edge of the training ground as alien instructors tested his strength. He fought with wooden staffs, metal blades, and strange glowing weapons that responded to thought. But the hardest battle was not against any opponent. It was the one inside him. Each time Eren swung a weapon, he felt it. The whisper of the shadow demon, coiling around his thoughts. Let me guide you. I can make you faster, stronger. Unstoppable, he ignored it. Again and again. But the more he resisted, the heavier his body felt, as if the demon wanted him to surrender or break. One afternoon, his instructor, a tall alien warrior named Kor, shouted, "Control your balance, human. You move like you carry a storm." Eren gritted his teeth. "Maybe I do." He lunged forward, but his vision flashed red. For a split second, his body moved faster than sight. He appeared behind Kor and struck, shattering the training pole in half. Everyone froze. The air trembled. Eren's arm was covered in black smoke, his eyes glowing faintly red. "Eren!" "Stop!" Lyra cried out. He blinked, and the smoke vanished. The broken weapon fell from his hands. His heart raced. "I didn't mean to." Kor stepped back carefully. "That power, it's not natural." Lyra ran to Eren. "You use the shadow's strength," she said softly. "You can't let it in even for a second." Eren looked at his trembling hand. "If I don't use it, I'm weak. If I do, I lose control. So what am I supposed to do?" Lyra met his eyes. "You must learn to share control. Not fight it, not obey it, balance it," he frowned. "Balance? A demon?" She smiled faintly. "Even darkness needs light to exist. You can't destroy it, we only guide it." Her words stayed with him. That night, Eren sat alone in his small chamber. The alien moon shone through the window, and the mark on his arm glowed softly like fire under glass. He closed his eyes and whispered, "All right, demon, talk to me." For a moment, nothing. Then the air grew cold and the voice came. "You call me demon, yet I was once light. Your kind made me shadow." Eren's breath caught. "What do you mean?" "Before your people came, I served the light of Virel. I protected the royal bloodline. But when humans brought fire and metal, the king used me as a weapon. He chained me, fed me hatred, and called me guardian. Tell me, human, who is the real monster?" Eren felt something shift in his chest. "You were forced into this?" "Yes, and now you wear my prison." Eren opened his eyes. The mark on his arm flickered softly. Not in anger this time, but almost like sadness. "I don't want to be your cage," he said quietly. "But if I let you out, you'll kill." "Then teach me peace," the voice whispered. "And I will give you power." The connection faded. When morning came, Eren met Lyra in the training hall again. She looked surprised. He seemed calmer, his steps lighter. "What changed?" she asked. "I stopped fighting it," Eren said. "It listens when I do," Lyra smiled softly. "Then you are learning faster than anyone expected." But peace did not last long. That afternoon, alarms echoed through the palace. Guards ran through the hall shouting, "Intruders!" Shadowborn raiders in the outer gates. Eren and Lyra rushed to the balcony. From the high towers, they saw dark shapes flying across the sky, creatures made of mist and armor, servants of the Shadow Legion. Lyra's voice trembled. "They haven't attacked in years. They're coming for me." Eren clenched his fists. "Then they'll have to go through me first." Lyra looked at him. "Eren, you're not ready?" He turned to her, his red-marked arm glowing brighter. "Maybe not, but the demon inside me is." Before she could stop him, Eren leaped from the balcony. Shadows formed around him, wings of smoke spreading from his back. He landed on the outer wall as the raiders descended. The soldiers of Virel gasped. The human was half covered in black fire, his eyes shining red, but he stood between them and the enemy. "Stay behind me," he shouted. When the first Shadowborn struck, Eren's claws met them with a roar of dark power. Light and shadow exploded in the sky. From above, Lyra watched with fear and awe. "He's changing," she whispered. "But whose side will the shadow choose?" Below, Eren's voice echoed through the smoke. "You want darkness?" he growled. "Then face mine." The battle shook the mountain. The attack on the palace came like a storm from another world. Dark clouds twisted over the mountains and lightning painted the sky purple. The Shadowborn raiders screamed as they descended, creatures made of smoke, armor, and ancient rage. Below, the city of Virel burned with light. The golden towers glowed as cannons fired beams of pure energy into the dark sky. Yet the shadows kept coming. They flowed around the walls like black water. Aaron stood on the palace wall, his body half covered in faint smoke, eyes glowing red under the storm. He felt the demon stirring inside him, whispering in hunger, "Unleash me. Let them taste our wrath." He gripped his sword tighter. "Not your wrath. Our defense." He leaped into the air. The wings of shadow spread wide behind him, huge, dark, and beautiful against the light. Soldiers gasped as he dove through the enemy lines, slashing through black forms that screamed and dissolved into mist. Lyra watched from the balcony, her heart pounding. "He's not fighting like a human anymore," she whispered. "He's fighting like a shadow prince." Her father, King Virel, stood beside her, his golden eyes sharp. "The demon has chosen him, but that power will destroy him soon." Lyra clenched her fists. "Then we have to help him." The king turned. "No, if he loses control, the Shadow Legion will rise again." "You must not interfere," but Lyra ignored him. She ran down the marble stairs toward the outer gates. Aaron was surrounded. Dozens of raiders closed in, their claws glowing with dark fire. He felt their voices inside his head, hundreds of whispers calling his name. "You are one of us now. The blood of shadow flows in you." His arm pulsed painfully and the demon's voice grew louder. "Let me take them, human. Let me protect her." For a moment Aaron hesitated, and then he shouted, "Fine, but on my terms." A blast of black light exploded around him. The ground cracked and the raiders screamed as a dark aura spread out like a shockwave. He moved faster than thought, slicing through shadows that melted in seconds. The sky above turned red from his power, but as the battle raged, his face twisted in pain. The voice inside him was no longer calm. "You cannot hold me forever." His veins glowed red, spreading toward his heart. The air itself bent around him. The soldiers nearby fell back, shouting in fear, "Stop him. He's losing control." One cried. Aaron fell to one knee, clutching his chest. "No, not now." Then through the fire and smoke Lyra appeared, running toward him. "Aaron," she shouted. "Listen to me. You're not a monster." Her voice cut through the chaos like a beam of light. He looked up, his red eyes flickering back to brown. She placed her hand over his cursed arm. The black veins slowed their pulse. "Remember what you said," she whispered. "You fight to protect, not destroy." The demon's voice hissed inside his mind. "The king's daughter commands me, and so I obey." The red light faded. Aaron fell forward, exhausted, and Lyra caught him. Above them, the last of the raiders screamed and vanished in smoke. The battlefield grew silent except for the soft hum of power fading in the air. When the soldiers carried Aaron back into the palace, the king awaited them. His expression was unreadable. Lyra knelt beside Aaron, still holding his hand. "He saved us all," she said. The king looked down at the unconscious human. "Yes," he said slowly, "but at what cost?" He turned to his guards. "The shadow within him grows stronger with every battle. If we cannot contain it, it will consume this world." Lyra shook her head. "No, father. It obeyed me. That means it still knows loyalty." The king's golden eyes softened slightly. "Or perhaps it knows love." Lyra looked up sharply, blushing faintly, but said nothing. Aaron stirred weakly, whispering, "Did we win?" She smiled softly. "Yes, but the war isn't over." He tried to sit up, but winced in pain. "Then tell your father this. If the shadows return, I'll fight them again, even if it kills me." The king turned away, hiding a rare look of respect. "Rest, human. The final decision will come soon." As he walked toward the throne, the mark on Aaron's arm glowed once more, this time brighter, clearer. The demon's voice whispered faintly in his mind, "We are changing, human. You and I. The light remembers us now." Aaron closed his eyes, unsure if it was a warning or a promise. The palace of Virel was quiet after the battle. Smoke drifted above the glowing mountains and the sky had turned pale gold again. But inside the throne hall, silence felt heavier than war. Aaron stood before the king of Virel, weak but still standing. His armor was cracked, his hands trembling, the mark on his arm glowing faintly like fading fire. Lyra stood beside him, her silver eyes full of worry. King Virel's golden gaze was sharp as he spoke. "The war is not over. The Shadowborn will return, and when they do, they will come for you, human." Aaron didn't flinch. "Then I'll be ready." The king's voice grew colder. "You used the power of the shadow demon against them, and it obeyed you. That means it no longer belongs to my bloodline. You have broken a law older than this kingdom. Lyra stepped forward. Father, please, he saved our people. Without him, the city would have fallen. The king raised his hand. And in saving us, he became a weapon none can control. Even you, my daughter. Aaron clenched his fists. You think I want this thing inside me? You think I asked for this curse? The king looked down from his throne. It doesn't matter what you wanted. The choice now belongs to me and to the creature inside you. The air turned cold. A deep voice echoed through the hall, not from Aaron's mouth, but from the walls themselves. I am already here. Black smoke rose from Aaron's shadow, twisting into a tall figure. The shadow demon. Its red eyes burned brighter than fire. Everyone stepped back except Lyra. The king's armor lit up in golden flame. You dare appear before me again? You chained me once, Light King, the demon hissed. Now I am bound to one who knows mercy, something you never learned. The king's hand glowed. Then I will end both of you, Aaron shouted. Stop! If you kill me, the demon's essence will spread across your world. You'll destroy everything you built. Lyra moved between them, her voice trembling but strong. Father, listen. The shadow isn't evil anymore. It changed because Aaron did. Because he chose to protect, not to hate. The king hesitated. The golden fire in his hands dimmed. A human. Changed, a creature of darkness. Aaron nodded weakly. Maybe darkness doesn't need to die. Maybe it just needs a reason to stand in the light. For a long moment, the great hall was silent. The wind whispered through the tall crystal windows. The demon's form flickered, turning less monstrous and almost human in shape. She speaks truth, it said quietly. The boy's heart. It held me still when rage wanted to burn this world again. I would follow him until the end. Lyra turned to Aaron. Then the choice is yours. You can break the bond now, but if you do, the demon will die, and so will part of you. Aaron looked at her, then at the king, then down at his trembling hands. The mark on his arm pulsed one last time, faint, gentle, like a heartbeat saying goodbye. He smiled sadly. It's okay. I was never meant to keep this power. He placed his hand over his chest. Let the shadow rest. A beam of golden and black light burst from his body, filling the hall. The ground shook as light and shadow collided, and not as enemies, but as one. The smoke rose to the ceiling and disappeared into the stars beyond. When it was over, Aaron fell to his knees. The mark on his arm was gone. The demon's voice was silent. Lyra caught him before he hit the ground. Aaron, please stay with me. He smiled faintly. Looks like even shadows can change. Then his eyes closed. The king stepped down from his throne, his face no longer proud but full of respect. He knelt beside the fallen boy. He was no shadow. The king said softly, "He was our light." The hall bowed their heads. For the first time in centuries, light and darkness rested side by side. Lyra looked toward the open window where the dawn broke over the mountains. A faint wind brushed her face, warm and kind, as if whispering his name. Even in darkness, she whispered, a human heart can become the brightest flame. And far away in the shimmer of the rising sun, two shadows walked together, one human, one ancient, finally free.